A formal complaint alleging widespread corruption in the education system. We are talking some serious accusations here.
Definitely serious.
Yeah, so we're going to dive into the selection process specifically for EST positions.
EST.
EST, yeah, that stands for female teacher.
Okay.
In the Kohlu district of Balochistan. And this complaint, it's not just like, raising a few eyebrows. It's like a full-on accusation.
Yeah.
Saying that this whole process is rigged and the consequences could be really, really bad for education in the region.
I mean, if these allegations are true, this could be really damaging.
Right. So what stands out to you initially about this complaint?
Well, the fact that it's coming from somebody inside the system is really interesting.
Oh, yeah. Why is that?
I mean, it suggests that the problem might be much more ingrained than just, a few bad apples. Like maybe this kind of behavior is even tolerated by those in power.
That's a really good point. Like, this isn't someone who's just observing from the outside.
No.
This is someone who's experiencing it firsthand.
Exactly.
And they are naming names in this complaint.
Yeah, they're not holding back.
No, they're directly challenging the Sardar Bahadur Khan Women's University, so that's Sbkwu,
Okay.
which is responsible for conducting this whole selection process. Then they're calling out the committee members and the education authorities and even the shortlisted candidates themselves.
Wow.
This is someone who is taking a stand.
Yeah, definitely a bold move and,
Yeah, okay. So let's get into the heart of this.
Okay.
What are the actual allegations being made here?
Well, the main claim is that a lot of these shortlisted candidates are just straight up unqualified. And they wouldn't be able to pass the test again if they had to take it without some kind of help. Yeah, maybe some inside information or something like that.
Oh, I see. Okay, and the complaint actually says that 80% of the candidates of the district were selected by luck.
80%.
80%.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that even possible? Is that a real number, or are they just exaggerating to make a point?
It's definitely an attention-grabbing statement.
Yeah.
But to prove that statistically, you would need some pretty robust analysis.
Like what kind of analysis?
Well, you'd have to compare qualifications and test scores and even look for any biases within the selection process itself. Statistical modeling could actually show whether the results deviate significantly from what you would expect based purely on merit.
Okay, but even if that statistic is a little bit, shocking, this complaint goes beyond just the numbers. You can really feel the writer's disillusionment.
Absolutely.
Like they compare those "say no to corruption" slogans that we see everywhere, with the alleged reality, which they describe as, say, "welcome to corruption."
That's gotta sting.
Yeah, it must be so disheartening to see that kind of hypocrisy.
It really erodes trust in institutions.
Yeah.
It breeds cynicism and it discourages qualified people from even applying for these positions.
Right, because what's the point if the system's rigged anyway?
Exactly, and the complaint emphasizes that this isn't just about a few teaching jobs. It's about the future of education in the entire country.
Wow, so this is bigger than just one district.
Yeah, potentially much bigger.
And that's where it becomes relevant to all of us listening, right?
Definitely.
Because education is the foundation for a thriving society.
You can't have a strong society without good education.
Right, and if you have unqualified teachers, that can have a ripple effect.
Absolutely.
Impacting the students and the communities and ultimately holding the entire nation back.
That's a chain reaction.
Yeah, and this complaint, it doesn't just point out the problem, it actually issues a challenge.
Oh, yeah, what's that?
It dares the shortlisted candidates to retake the test.
Whoa.
With only 2 days to prepare.
That's a bold move.
Right. Pretty provocative.
So what happens now? Do you think anyone's going to take them up on that?
I don't know. It'd be interesting to see.
And would the authorities even acknowledge this complaint?
That's the big question, right?
Yeah. Will this actually lead to a real investigation?
And potential consequences.
Or will it just get swept under the rug?
Because this situation really raises a bigger concern.
What's that?
Is this an isolated incident in just this one district?
Right.
Or is it a symptom of a much wider issue within Balochistan or even within Pakistan's entire education recruitment process?
That's what we need to figure out.
So we've learned a lot today.
We have.
Serious allegations of corruption, a potential crisis in education quality, and a really passionate plea for transparency and fairness.
It's a powerful message.
It is. And as we wrap up this deep dive, it leaves us with a really important question to consider.
Okay.
If this complaint is investigated and it turns out to be true,
Right.
what can be done to ensure a more merit-based and effective education system in the future?
That's a big question.
It is. And what role can each of us play, whether we're talking about the author of this complaint or even us as listeners? What can we do to demand accountability and push for positive change in the education system?
That's something for everyone to think about.
Yeah, that's a great point to end on. So thank you so much for joining me for this deep dive. It's been a really insightful conversation.
It's been a pleasure.
And to all of you listening, thank you for sending us this incredibly important complaint and for caring about the future of education.
It's inspiring.
It really is. We'll see you next time for another deep dive.
Sounds good.